Great business for you to buy is the one that fits your skills. Not only will help you run the business well, which obviously you're going to need to do post-acquisition, it'll also help you win favor with the seller, the broker, and your bank. With the seller, if you're buying a good business, they've put in decades into building this business, and they don't want to just hand it over to anyone. And they especially don't want to hand it over to just someone who calls themselves an investor that's just there to make money. And the bank's going to want to see that as well. They're putting up most of the money. They're taking most of the risk. So they really want you to prove to them why you're right for this business. Now, you don't have to match your skill set one for one. Just because you work as a car salesman doesn't mean you can only buy auto dealerships, although it will help you quite a bit. So here's how we've leveraged some of our partners' skills to get them into what we think is just the right business. So we have a client who's an RN, and he also used to be an electrician, which is a very unique combination. So we offered to buy a business that installs medical equipment in hospitals and doctors' offices. And this business was perfect for him because most of the employees are going to be tradesmen. They're going in and they're doing plumbing-like work, electrical-like work. So he was used to the environment from being an electrician, and he knows how to work with that workforce. But then as his time as an RN, he also knows the hospital system and what their needs are. So he was the perfect fit for that business. Fortunately, we didn't get that one. I still miss that one because the sellers decided not to sell. Got another partner with 20 years restaurant experience. I know a lot of people will say online that you shouldn't buy restaurants. You shouldn't buy restaurants if you don't know anything about running a restaurant. He's been running restaurants for 20 years. So we found a great 40-year-old diner that we're going to buy together. He's going to run the restaurant. It also comes with 3 acres of just raw land that we're going to do some things with. So we brought in an investor with a background in building storage facilities. So we're going to try to utilize that essentially free land that we got to try to do a few different things, possibly building storage units. And similar, we've got a partner with a home remodeling background. They also work as a real estate agent that we're going to buy a kitchen and design company. He has direct history in that, which means also the bank feels more comfortable. It means he's able to do that 2.5% down from the bank rather than the 5% because they feel comfortable with his experience. And then we have a partner who's overseen huge construction projects overseas. He and his family own a very large construction company in another country, and we're buying a large concrete company here in the United States. But like I said, your background needs to relate to the business. It doesn't need to be an exact match. For example, we have another client with a welding background. He is the foreman for a team of welders. In this instance, we're going to buy a evaporative cooling company, which involves a lot of welding. You're going to have similar personalities within the employee base. So even though this HVAC company isn't exactly the same as the welding company that he currently works for, it's similar enough that they work together. We have another client. We're going to buy a large porta potty business. His background is in IT and manufacturing, not porta potties. So where this is a great fit for him actually is because this current business does everything on pencil and paper. Everything's basically in the seller's head, but he can come in and install the systems and automate most of the work that the current owner is doing. So we're going to have a period of pretty long overlap with the previous owner and the new owner. And initially, all the new owner is going to do is basically do the implementation of the IT that's going to, greatly smooth the operations of the business. So we go on forever, but you need to make sure that your skills translate into the business you're trying to buy. Whenever we have a client come in, we have them typically look at businesses for a month. We gather them. And then a lot of times we have to say is why other than the money did you choose this? Because if it was the money, it's probably not the right fit. There really needs to be some other reason. All of these businesses make good money. So if you're not a licensed plumber and you're looking at a plumbing business, why are you equipped to run that? You may have a good reason, and you need to think about it, and you need to be able to articulate it to both the broker, the seller, and your banker.